when I came into this industry and I was curious, I'm like, wow, this is something I really felt like I could see myself doing. I like coaching. I like going out helping people. I see people doing these speeches. I'm like, wow, I want to do that. I want to be helping people out online all over the globe. So that was my ambition. The challenge that I had was I didn't understand the business model. I didn't understand the blueprint of how people are actually making all of this money. So I dove in. And I struggled a lot trying to figure it out. And I remember listening to some gurus that were saying, hey, you got to have a program. So I kind of cobbled something together. And I've been hearing people say, hey, you need to post content online. So I was posting content online. I was connecting with people. But my true shift didn't change. My impact didn't change. And the revenue that I made didn't change until I understood sales. Everybody put sales in the chat. Go ahead and put understand sales in the chat. So I didn't understand that. So I was just doing all of this posting, and then I would get on seldomly when I would get on a call with people, I would just go in and just do what I thought I should do. I would just get on and basically coach them, give them a free coaching session, really, right? And just coach them. And I'm thinking that, all it takes is for me to coach somebody, and they're going to see how amazing this is, that they're going to actually enroll afterwards. And that was my idea of how to get clients, right? Nobody ever told me that there was a process that I needed to follow to get clients. I had no idea. I just thought, give people good coaching and they'll sign up. But there's certain limiting beliefs you got to help people overcome, which we'll talk about. There's a certain process mentally that you got to take people through, which we'll talk about. And there's certain ways that you really got to help people understand and get clarity about what you provide and what you offer. All sales are not created equal. And specifically what that really means is when you're presenting your program to somebody, you got to realize that all clients are not the same. So all sales won't be the same. Meaning you got some people that are going to be hyperactive. You're going to have some people that are like, yo, I'm ready to go right now. I've been waiting for a life coaching program for X amount of time. I've been waiting for a health program, a trauma program, a confidence program, whatever you help people with, a business program, whatever you help people with, you have a certain percentage of people that's been waiting for a solution. They were just waiting for you to show up. They was waiting for you to do that post. They was waiting for you to do that challenge. They was waiting for you to invite them on a call. They was waiting for you to DM them. They was waiting for you, and you finally showed up, and then that's how you'll book an appointment. So to actually, and all this is setting up the part for you to get the sales. So you'll have a certain amount of people who they're ready. You'll get a certain amount of people who they're on the fence about it. They're not really sure. Is it the right time? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Is it worth the money? Right. But they're in kind of this middle ground of where they're not really sure, should they get the coaching or should they get the coaching? So there's a certain percentage of people that are like that. And then you have a certain percentage of people that are really just looking to get free coaching. You know what I mean? They're just looking to they're not really interested in buying. They're just right now just trying to see how much free information they can grab. Right? To those people, I like to refer my free resources. I spend my time and my energy's time really engaging in speaking with people who are in the place where they're like, I think I want some additional help so I can take this serious. And that is where you want to be in the pitch. You don't ever just jump on a call with somebody and you're unprepared, especially if you haven't been doing this for years. Now, I can kind of do that, but I've been doing this for 8 years, right? So you want to make sure that you're prepared and you know exactly what you're going to say. That doesn't mean a word for word script. That just means that you know where you're guiding and you're taking the conversation. All right. Does that make sense? So that's what you want to be able to do now. What are some things that you want to, what's the flow? All right. So let me tell you how to prepare for it. And then I'm going to tell you with the same principles, how to actually execute it in real time. So preparation is before you get on a call with somebody, it's called qualification. Recommendation and presentation. Everybody write that in the chat. Qualification, presentation, recommendation, and then presentation. So those are the things that you really want to do on a call. Now, when you're prepping before you actually get on a call, you need to know what questions you want to ask people. You know, it depends on what your niche is, though, or what you're helping people with. If you're helping people with business, a good business question is, well, what business are you in? A good business question is, how much monthly revenue would you like to make? A good question is, what's the biggest problem you're having in your business right now? Those are some questions you want to be able to ask, right? There's more, but let's just say those are some of the questions you want to be able to ask, right? So with that, those are good questions because now you're getting a chance to understand the person, you get a chance to understand their ambitions, their goals, what they want, what they've been thinking about. So that's really key, is that it's asking people the right questions. Another reason that that's important is too, because you're going to be listening very intently. One of the biggest success requirements is listening. So you really have to be a great listener and listen to what they're saying, listen to their responses. Don't even just listen to what the responses are, but listen to how they answer the question. Because a lot of times they'll answer a question maybe thinking that it might be what you want to hear, or, they're not really confident in how they respond or they answer the question. So you really got to be listening intently for the things that people are saying and the things that people are not saying. This is a big sales persuasion and influence strategy, right? Especially when it comes to dealing with other people. You really got to listen to how people are saying things. The problem with that, right? When you get on and you just teach and you just coach, right? That was one of the things I said I used to do. The reason that that's a problem is one, anybody who is dealt with a professional before, think about a doctor, think about a lawyer, think about when you deal with professionals that they don't spend all day trying to coach you and teach you through everything, especially if that's not what you have paid for yet. That's not the point of the consultation. The point of the consultation is not to teach you everything you need to know. It's not to coach you on it and then, you feel what I'm saying? That's not the point. The point of giving recommendations is really giving somebody a blueprint. It's giving somebody an outline of what they need to do. It's not teaching them the whole thing. So number 3 is presentation. And presentation comes down to actually presenting your program now, right? How do you actually present the program? So this whole time you've been listening to them, you've been listening real carefully. This whole time you've been kind of, you've been really seeing what their problems are. You're really understanding where they want to go and whatever your niche is. And now that you have all of this data and all this information, now it comes down to actually present what you have. But present what you have in a way that they see that is super valuable based on what you just gave, but based on the whole conversation you had ahead of time, right? So as you're going through your blueprint now, this is the time you teach, but I still don't want you to get crazy. Some people just get crazy and they teach you for 20, 30 minutes. You don't do that. You're probably going to teach and train them on your blueprint. I give you 5 minutes max. Meaning if you have 5 points that they need to do to overcome trauma, 5 points to get better health, to have a fit lifestyle, 5 points to start their business, 5 points to start their career, or whatever it is that you do, you train on, find love, mindset, it's unlimited topics out there, right? And you're doing it based on your expertise, your experience, and your education, right? So that is what you're teaching and training them on. It should be something that you've been able to overcome or something you've been able to achieve, and you're basically teaching that process, right? So now that it comes to the presentation, you really got to get clear on what they're actually getting. And this is why having a niche and understanding the outcome or the goal of the person you're helping is important. This is important is because your program and your blueprint should be aligned to help them achieve this specific goal, presenting your program. So you want to present 3 things, and this is what I teach our clients, right? So 3 things. You want to focus on your, this is more relation to your program, but you're going to include an offer as part of it. So let me kind of break that down for you. So when you're presenting people your principles, your product, and your price. Your principles, your product, and your price. Your principles are, what are they going to be learning? You did a lot of the heavy lifting when you went through the blueprint, because your blueprint should be exactly in line with they're going to be learning in your program, right? You don't want to give recommendations to something they can't even learn in your program. So any recommendations you're giving them, that's going to be in alignment with what you're saying is inside of your program. All right. Seems obvious, but it needs to be said. So you're going to focus on presenting that. And all of this is on a call, right? Remember, everything I'm telling you right now is you're on an actual call, but you want to do this work ahead of time. So when you're on the call, it flows smooth like butter. You're not fidgeting with your phone. You're not fidgeting with papers. You understand it. You know what questions you're going to ask. You know exactly the recommendations you're going to give them, and you know how to present your program. So that's what this training is today. So now you're presenting your program, and you're going to cover a few different things, right? So we talked about the principles, the product, and the price, but that's essentially what you want to present. You want to share with them what they're going to be learning. You're going to share with them what the actual deliverables are. So are you meeting with them one-on-one? Is this a group situation? Are you including certain products or resources with it? Are you including workbooks? Are you including cheat sheets? Are you including training materials, courses? Are you including live events? I'm giving you a bunch of examples, right? Are you including additional one-on-one time with you? Are you including, I've seen clients that included books. So maybe there was a certain book that was instrumental through your process of you learning or healing or getting through the challenge that you got through. Who's to say you can't just go to Amazon and send them a book as part of signing up for your coaching program, or order a bunch of them and send them out, right? Who's to say you can't do that? Who's to say that I had a client who, one of the things that he did was like basically like couples coaching, relationships, and part of the investment that the person made, he would use that to actually send that couple on a weekend stay at a nice hotel in their local area, their local city. So what I love about this coaching space right now is that you can literally be your authentic self. You don't have to front and act like you know more, you achieved more, right? Which is why on here earlier I said, just teach and train on what you know. And then what's also great about this is that there's literally no limit. There's no box to what you can include as part of your program or as part of your offer. We call it an executive offer, right? Which is basically an offer that they can't refuse. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see new coaches have is that they don't take the time to really understand what they're offering people and how to present it, how to say it. Because even if you have an idea, this is what I come across. And I even come across this with a lot of people who say, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. And I got a program and I still run across it. I say, okay, explain me your program. What do you have? They'll explain with me 10 different levels, 2 different programs, all of these different things that they could include. And I was thinking about this and I was writing this down, and you're explaining a bunch of things that you don't currently offer. And what I'm taken away from this conversation is that you don't even know how to explain what you have. That don't make you a bad person. That just makes you ineffective when it comes to sales. You feel what I'm saying? That just means that you haven't offered it enough time. So when I see somebody that's stumbling over explaining their offer and how to help people in that way, in terms of enrolling them and really showing them how you're gonna help get them closer to their goals, it becomes very evident if you've been practicing this or if you've been getting on calls and presenting this consistently versus not.